Hello, all of you being gloriously wonderful people. This is the Vapid Retinue Mk II, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road in the snow. That's right, we're back with more in the snow. Will it off-road? And of course, these vehicles have all been recorded. The series is in the can, as they say. As we head off, there's a comment on the screen. Don't know what it is yet because I haven't picked it yet. But, you can vote for the vehicles that you want to see featured in upcoming regular Will It Off-Road by clicking on the link in the description down below. And of course, your votes matter more now than ever because voting was reset on January 1st. So everything currently has 0. So it only takes one vote right now to get a car up to the top. Of course, it'll probably be later this month before we resume recording Will It Off-Road because I do have 6 weeks worth of footage total. Well, 5 more weeks worth, and I'll hold on to one of those for next December, or this coming December, I should say. Yeah, for the next month we'll be doing snow videos. But anyways, the Retinue Mk II is fantastic in the snow. It has a lot of wheel spin, which it may not sound like it, but I was actually modulating the throttle quite a bit to try to find a place where I didn't have massive amounts of wheel spin, and there really isn't a place. I mean, even here where I'm barely on the gas, wheel spin like crazy. So I just kind of learned to embrace it and just let it go because the car seems to be making progress despite that wheel spin. The only thing that, it causes is exaggerated oversteer, which, if you're aware of it, that's fine. I mean, it's kind of a rally style car anyway. And in the rear-wheel drive rally car, you want to kind of hang that back end out to get you around corners. So it's fine. I mean, it does slow it down quite a bit. I don't think we've tested this car in the dry yet to be able to compare times. But, we're at 2 minutes, and we're just now about halfway up. So, definitely slowing the car down considerably, but not to a degree that, it's going to turn in what I would consider a poor time, especially if you're in the snow. We always shoot for that under 3 minutes for a good time in the dry. I'd say anything under, like, 3:30, maybe 3:45 is good for the snow. As we saw with the SE Sport, it added about, 20 seconds to the time, and that thing is very competent. So to say that the average car should add, anywhere from 20 to 45 seconds, I think is realistic to say that it's still a pretty decent time. So we should still get a pretty decent time out of the Mk II here. As it just continues to push its way on up. Just past that 3-minute mark. Coming up to my turn. Didn't have enough momentum. And in the snow to make this last climb, it's, as you can see by the 2 people who just went past me, it's all about momentum. If you don't have the momentum, you're not getting up that little hill. So, since I didn't have it, I had to regain it, which meant going backwards and probably adding 10 seconds to this car's time, since I didn't carry the momentum around the corner. But there we go, clawing our way to the top. We're up, big jump, 3 minutes, 38 seconds. So will the Vapid Retinue Mk II off-road in the snow? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, it did okay. Would have liked to see it a little faster, but, it did okay. It sounds like somebody's having a snowball fight off to the side. But since we're at the top, as the final person reaches the top and gets in position, it's time to go back down because we waited long enough. That's right, no breather for whoever was in the Rebel. I just honestly don't remember who was in the Rebel. I do remember that they did just driven up as I started, though. Of course, there's cargo bobs, and you'll see those probably all throughout most of the Will It Off-Road in the Snow videos. We didn't use it on this car, but for a lot of cars that take a long time to get up the mountain, it was a matter of just using cargo bobs to get back to the top for the damage descent, because didn't make a whole lot of didn't make a whole lot of sense to spend, you know, 5, sometimes 10 minutes driving back up the mountain and risking damaging the car before we even got to the damage descent. So, yeah, at one point there's like 4 cargo bobs on top of the mountain. Like we have 2 parked up on top of the gondola building and 2 just kind of parked elsewhere. In one of the videos, it may be this one, there's even 2 Avengers hanging out because we had to fly out here, you know, and in our Avengers, and we just left them in hover mode above the course. So yeah, lots of aircraft are going to be featured in the Bullet Off-Road in the snow videos. It's kind of strange, but this thing, I love this little car. Probably a little overpriced for what it is, but I really enjoy it. It's just a fun car to be in. And I don't know, I just dig it. I really do dig the Retinue Mark II. I prefer the look of the original Retinue as far as styling, but I like the way this one drives a little bit better. If you tuned in for any of our snowy live streams in GTA Online with the Vainglorious crew, then you saw me race this a couple times, and it's just fantastic, though I'm not really doing it much in the way of respect right here. Spinning out and then not able to get on the track, so I decided, screw it, we're gonna go from right here. I mean, why not, right? My fellow Vapid drivers pulling off to the side, like good support vehicles would, wait for the lead vehicle to get by. Coming around our last little bits, and look, it hangs its tail out, but it's so controllable. And we're down 2 minutes 45 seconds. So, nearly getting hit by Commander Hobo, we will head back to the top of Mt Chiliad in the bleak midwinter and throw this thing off the top. It is very dark. And see what type of damage it takes. Of course, this is a dark vehicle. I apologize to those of you watching on smaller screens. I know it's a little bit harder to see the darker cars at night. But when it comes to recording in the snow, I never know how much snow we're going to get. Like, had I known that we were still going to have snow on, well, gosh, it was still snowing on January 5th. So when this video goes up, which is when I'm recording the voiceover, when the video goes up on the 6th, it was still snowing yesterday in GTA Online, and it started on New Year's Eve, so that's, you know, 6 whole days in a row. We never get 6 days in a row of snow in GTA Online. It's usually like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and it's done. At least that's what it was last year. It was very little. So I was kind of expecting the same thing, but they've left it on for quite a while. I guess, global warming has, you know, brought that freak northern wind even farther south for a much longer time than normal, and so we're getting longer snow in Los Angeles. I don't know. Who knows how Rockstar justifies what they do? God knows I gave up trying to figure that a long time ago. Almost a perfect transition to the tunnel, but then I rolled it at the end. Oh well. Bounced through the bumpy, muddy bits here. Tried to jump over the rally truck. Didn't quite work. So we got to back up. Get going forward again. Looks like Commander might have had a little bit of a struggle there as well, because he was going through that tunnel backwards, and I didn't do him any favors right there. A very odd approach to getting up that last little bit. Of course, that ripped off the door, and then, yeah, managed to fail my slide, and we're down 2 minutes 3 seconds. So let's take a look at the damage on the Retinue Mark II. Headlights and all the windows are gone. The front bumper lip and the right door missing. The hood, trunk, and remaining door will not close, and there are bent wheels. So, of course, that means we'll take a look at our support vehicles. And, yeah, quite a bit of damage there, too. And, of course, the rear shot with somebody down on the ground, so they got hit by a snowball. But that is going to bring us to our next vehicle, the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire. A muscle car. Not only that, but a muscle car that is, even in the dry, pretty much only good in a straight line. So Yeah. I wanted to get off that wheelie as soon as possible so I could get the wheels back on the ground. I thought maybe if I was really lucky, I could just drive this thing completely through the rear wheels, and you can see that's what I'm really trying to do. And honestly, here at this first bit, I get around a lot quicker, I think, than I did in the dry, because I am able to get it to turn because of the snow, because I can get those back wheels to let go. And then if I can hold that, then I'm able to get around the turn, where you can't do that in this car in the dry. But of course, it does want to kind of hunt all over the trail because of how uneven everything is. Of course, all of this low-end torque is going to cause a bit of a problem when we get to the steeper bits, and you'll see what I mean here in just a second. Already struggling a little bit to find grip. And again, I know it may not sound like it. Oh, it sounds like a hiker got took out. Or taken out. I am doing my best to modulate the throttle and find a spot where the wheels do not spin. Thing is, it really isn't a place on this car. This is about the least wheel spin I could get. I'm not flooring it here. But it made it up that first big challenge. But this is probably the most challenging section of the mountain right here. Because you have to slow down because of where the weird hitbox is, or it'll bounce you up in the air. It's really narrow and it transitions at a strange angle. So, without being able to carry a whole lot of momentum, this becomes a little bit of a challenge. Looks like we changed one of our support staff. That does not appear to be the original Rusty Rebel that we had. That appears to be different. I think Shaq Nader was with us for this one. Pretty sure. Oh yeah, here's the one where the Avengers are. I knew there was a video where there's like Avengers everywhere. I just happened to notice my Avenger icon up there. Alright, trying again. There's that weird hitbox. It shoves you to the left anyway. Just hoping this thing will claw, and instead it rammed into Commander's Rumpo. So, just going to try to get it to go. Trying to find anywhere on the throttle that I can get acceleration. But you can see, I mean, they're sliding backwards or the wheels spin. One of the two, and sometimes both. But, yeah, get a little bit forward, and then it just gets a little too steep again. Just trying my best to get this car up without having to redo that really challenging bit, but I don't think it's going to happen because now I'm on slippery rocks. So back down we go. Going to try, I think, for some speed is what it looks like I'm lining up here. I honestly didn't re-watch this section as I was editing the video. I just kind of fast-forwarded to where it ends. It went really slow that time, hoping that maybe I wouldn't get bounced off too far to the side, and look at that. Through some very, very delicate throttle control, we made it. Which is good because, you know, if a car fails in the same spot 3 times, it's an automatic DNF. So now I'm just staying off the throttle as much as possible. And of course, as I said that sentence, I floored it. But I am trying to stay off the throttle just as much as I can anytime we're climbing, because I finally found that sweet spot. It was hard to find, but it is there. And it is very small. Like, you know, I use a controller when I play GTA, and when I play a lot of games, honestly. Even though I play on PC, I do use that Xbox One controller. And finding where that pressure point was on that right trigger was a bit of a challenge. And of course, I don't really practice beforehand in the cars. It's just get it in and go with it. Hey, there was my Avenger making a cameo. It should show up again on our way back down. And there is Commander's Avenger up to the top left. I can see a cargo bob. Oh, excuse me, I already have the hiccups already. I have the hiccups. I was saying I can see a cargo bob already. And mix my 2 sentences, because as we've learned, I don't English the best sometimes. My brain gets ahead of my mouth, or vice versa. I'm not sure which it is. But the Gauntlet Hellfire, now that I know slow and steady is how to get it up the mountain, is definitely making it up the mountain. However, 5 minutes already, and now we're coming back to 2 more really tricky bits, because this gets really steep right here, like really steep. Again, get out sometime in a car and stand there and look at the angle that your character is standing at. It's very steep. And of course, this last very steep climb on rocks that are always slippery, even when there isn't snow. And yeah, that was never gonna work. That was just never, ever gonna work. So I kind of just used it to just spin the car around so I could back up easier, since this thing's hard to get to turn. So there, I'm gonna just floor it, hope for the best. But yeah, what happened is the uneven terrain sent me at a weird angle, and the back wheels, just lacking their grip, just kind of followed suit. So gonna give that another shot here. Do a nice 3-point turn, back up just a little bit farther. Gonna gun it, trying not to have any wheel spin though. Like, I'm trying to keep it moving with as little wheel spin as possible. There we go. Finally, almost there, and we're up. Perfect, beautiful. 6 minutes, 25 seconds. So will it off-road in the snow? I mean, it got to the top, so on a technicality, we call it a yes. But yeah, I'd pretty much leave your Hellfire in the garage anytime there's snow on the ground, because this was unpleasant, and this is one of the vehicles that did get cargo bobbed back to the top. Yeah, this was not fun. It was a challenge. Okay, I take it back. It was fun because of the challenge, but it's not something I would want to do all the time. There's snow on my rear window because we were waiting for a couple other people to make it to the top of the mountain. So Commander and I had a bit of a snowball fight. He took cover behind my car, thinking I wouldn't throw snowballs at my own car. I don't know why he thought that. So, but that's why there's snow on my rear window, because I threw snowballs at it. Listen to that engine braking kicking in, boy. That makes a nice sound. That sounds pretty good. There's my Avenger. I just bailed out of it and parachuted down to where we start Will It Off-Road from that location. I wanted it kind of above the trail. I wanted it, hey, look, there's my Avenger just in autopilot. Which is a really cool feature that the Avengers have autopilot, but what they should then have is also a disengage autopilot and come over here to me and land, please feature. Which I guess really wouldn't fit nicely on an aircraft instrument panel label. The disengage autopilot and come over here and land next to me, please. That'd be a really big label. What could we call that? We could go Tesla. What is it? Auto summon? Is that what they call it? Or is that BMW? I don't know. One of them calls it auto summon. Who knows? I don't trust self-driving cars. Anyway, not yet anyway. I will eventually, but they're not there yet. So, again, just trying to go slow, and this is because of the fact that I know if I get any type of speed, the back end's not going to have the grip to match it. Plus, I can't use the throttle to help me get around a corner, and since this car is so slow to turn in, I have to be very careful. And ooh, speaking of being very careful, that was close. That was really close. That was definitely a pucker factor of about 7.2 on a 10-point scale. So you all know what I mean by pucker factor. So yeah, I'm just going slow because I don't want to miss a turn. And like I said, I can't use the throttle to get the back end to kick out since I'm going downhill. It's kind of a catch-22 in this case. But a lovely little bit of driving around that corner, though. I slid that beautifully, if I do say so myself. And I think another one of those happens here somewhere at some point. Not there, though. That was a fail. No. Hello, Shaq. Shaq was really concerned, like, because he saw me struggling here. He thought he knocked me off the trail. I know. I was already in trouble before you came along, Shaq. All you did was put a minor scratch in my roof. So you were fine, my friend. And, of course, you could have heard that whole dialogue of Shaq wondering if he had done that. Ooh, that was a pretty good drift. If you were able to hear the behind-the-scenes version or watch the behind-the-scenes version of Bullet Off-Road, and that is available to all channel supporters, and we'll talk about how you can become a channel supporter in just a minute. But we are down 3 minutes, 27 seconds. And after me, you can see I'm immediately just calling Pegasus, get the cargo bomb, fly this thing to the top. We're going to fling ourselves off the side of Mt Chiliad and take some damage once again in the dark. And once again, I apologize for that dark. But you can watch the behind-the-scenes version of it, hear all of our lovely banter in Discord. Usually lots and lots of laughter taking place as people say and do stupid things. But you also get to see like our runs back up, the snowball fight between me and Commander, any other extra shenanigans that take place. You get to see all of that. It is a slightly longer video, but I think it's a more entertaining version of Bullet Off-Road. And of course, you can become a channel supporter either by clicking the join button right here on YouTube for as little as $1.99 a month, or you can head over to patreon.com/vainglorious, and for as little as $1 a month, make a monthly pledge there. And then on Twitch at twitch.tv/vainglorious gaming. If you subscribe, even with a free Twitch Prime subscription, you will be a channel supporter. And all of those, you'll want to make sure in your Discord client that you have either on your phone or on your computer that you link those respective accounts up to Discord. Wow, he landed on my bumper and flipped me up. That way, you will get the Vainglorious supporter role in our Discord channel, because that is where I go to post a link to the behind-the-scenes version of these videos every week. And yeah, we have some engine damage on the Hellfire. I don't know how loud it's coming through on the video since I'm running my face hole, but there's definitely an engine rattle. Of course, I've gotten hit several times, there we go, by that monster truck. So the fact that where he flipped me up in the air, once we're finally stopped, you can kind of see it now, but the back end is really smashed in. You know, this is one of the newer vehicles, so they don't have the best damage models, and yet this thing is all crunched up and deformed. So that's how hard that monster truck hit me. So kind of impressive, honestly. Yeah, engine rattle's definitely getting louder. But as we back away from the woodpile and then go forward, we are down in 2 minutes, 21 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage on the Hellfire. Hi, Commander. Most of the lights and all the windows are gone. The front bumper, the hood, and the left door, and also I think the right front fender are gone. The rear bumper's damage, has bent wheels, has body damage, and it has engine damage. And we take a look at our support vehicles. And of course, that's going to do it for this week's Will It Off-Road. Make sure you go vote for the vehicles you want to see in upcoming Will It Off-Road videos. And make sure you play along with Will It Off-Road Bingo. The link is in the description down below. So until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.